Hi, Brian and Jackie from the League of Women Voters of Oklahoma. The topic today is filling out an absentee ballot for the November 3rd election. Jackie, your absentee ballot has arrived in the mail. Where do you start?
Okay, so once you take all of the documents out, you'll realize that there are several in there. You'll have your actual ballots, ballot envelope, affidavit envelope, return envelope, and then some COVID inserts.
So the thing is, and this is where people get confused, these instructions, you might need an advanced degree to follow these. So just stick with us. We're going to take you through what we hope will be an easy step-by-step process. Set the instructions aside and you start with the ballot.
Yes, so the white ballot is for everyone in the state of Oklahoma, and this would be the ballot that you see if you actually show up at your voting precinct as well. You're gonna fill out the presidential election and then all the Oklahoma elections and then the judge retentions. Then make sure you turn it over because state question 805 and 814 are on the back. So make sure you vote for 805 and 814. Then put that to the side. And if you live in Oklahoma City, you'll have a pink envelope, balloting.
That's for the charter election. There's a referendum on certain changes to the city charter. And there are other municipalities around the state where there are other local elections, referenda, that kind of thing. So you might get a second ballot in addition to the big white one that's sort of the main event for this November the 3rd election. So you've got everything filled in, right?
Yes, and when you fill it in, make sure you use blue or black ink, and you want to make sure you fill it in so that your vote is voted for who you are trying to vote for. Take your ballots, put it inside your ballot envelope. Once it's inside your ballot envelope, make sure you seal it all the way shut, because if it's not all the way shut, that is a reason for them to reject your ballot. So once it's sealed shut, then you're gonna take your ballot envelope and put it inside your affidavit envelope.
So ballots into the white ballot envelope into the, well, if you're using what they call a no excuse absentee ballot, it will be a yellow affidavit envelope. And you got a couple options here. Normally, absentee voters are required to have their ballot notarized if they've taken the no excuse option, and you can still do that. But this time, because of the pandemic, you also have been given the option to attach a copy of certain approved ID. Could be a driver's license. You have to put copies of both sides of your driver's license, maybe your voter registration card, passport, that kind of thing. And you attach it here, and we'll do that in a minute, but this is really important. People get messed up on this. Whatever you do, whether it's notary or attach a copy of the ID, you must fill out the top half here above the line. Fill out your name, sign it, and date it. A lot of people think, oh, I'm using my ID, I don't need to fill out the top half. That's wrong. That's how your ballot can get invalidated. So we want people to avoid that mistake. So that caution issued, what we do is we take, well, we're gonna use a voter registration card here. We're gonna use a paper clip to attach it. You can use Scotch tape too, no staples, okay? And so now we're ready to go. That affidavit envelope is sealed, and now we go to the green, right?
Right, and it's ready to go on the return envelope at this point. I get a lot of phone calls over whether it has to be notarized and if you have to include your Xerox copy, and the answer is no. You do either or. So if you want to get it notarized, then go to a notary, and I am a notary. You can come to the office and I will notarize it for you. So either get the notarization or a paper clip your identification to it. Either way, make sure you fill out everything above this line. Everything below the line is for the actual notary public to fill out.
Okay, so once again, ballots into the white envelope into the yellow envelope into the green. So we're ready to roll, but there's something very important. When you get ready to go to the post office, you got to do what?
You want to make sure you put 2 forever stamps on it, on your return envelope, because if you don't put enough postage, then the post office will return it back to your address, and that is another way that your vote will be rejected.
Yeah, you don't want to be disenfranchised on that. So that's basically the deal. One thing very important, mail as early as possible. If you get within a week of the election on November the 3rd, we would strongly urge you to take your ballot and hand deliver it to your county election board. The only person that can do that is you. You can't have somebody do it for you. You'll be asked for your ID, but you can hand deliver it to your local county election board.
Yes.
And oh yeah, you need to mask up. That's the other thing. Make sure that you take a mask down there so they don't ask you to leave and come back another time. All right, very important. So that's the so-called no excuse absentee ballot. Most people do that, but there are certain people in Oklahoma who also apply to vote absentee as an incapacitated voter. Same basic drill. If you want to attach your ID, you can do it just the way that Jackie and I did with the yellow affidavit envelope. But again, as an incapacitated voter, you got to fill out your name. You got to check the boxes where you're asked to do it. If you use an assistant, they got to fill it out. Then you sign and date. The other thing, though, just sort of like you can just do it normally with the notary, you can do it normally by filling out your ballot and then having two witnesses sign them for you. So you've got that option, but there's a little bit of a wrinkle, but that's really important, I think, to include that for our incapacitated voters. The thing is that we want everybody's vote to count. And in the June 30th primary, Jackie, we had about 3,000 ballots that were avoided because there were errors or omissions. Hopefully, this will get you on the right path toward making your vote count. And in case anybody's got any questions, how do they get a hold of you here at the league office?
The phone number to the office is 286-9909, or the email address is office@lwvokc.org.
405-286-9909
286-9909
or office at
lwvok.org.
Go vote, make it count.